Hello, everyone. Please confirm that you can hear me clearly.
Yes, Victoria, we can hear you clearly. I hope you're well.
Yeah, I am. Thank you. Yeah, so today has been a day filled with a lot of learnings. Actually, I've learned a lot. And I want to say thank you to the organizers for coming up with this event. I'm going to share my screen in a bit. All right, please confirm that you can see my screen.
We can see it.
Okay. So my name is Victoria Erogunaiye, and today we'll be looking at deep linking and Power Apps and Power Automate. Before we go too far or too deep, I'm going to introduce myself. So my name is Victoria. I'm a business applications developer with strength in Power Apps and Power Automate. I'm a Microsoft certified trainer, a Microsoft certified professional, and an MVP in business applications. You can follow me on Twitter and also on LinkedIn. Before we go too far, I have videos for us just to see and make sure that everybody's following. So I think you should be able to unmute your mic or just drop in the chat so that we don't get everything rowdy. For the first question, if you drop me, I'm sure to crack. Give me a smile, and I'll always smile back. What am I?
I think we have here in person an attempt.
Is it a
Okay.
mirror?
Yes, it is. So the next one. I have three eyes all in a line. When the red one opens, it all freezes. What am I?
Traffic light or a robot?
You said,
A traffic light.
yeah, you're correct. So the last one. I can be cracked, I can be made, I can be told, I can be played. What am I?
A joke.
Yes, a joke. So yeah, we're going to go straight to what we came here to learn. So this is deep linking, and some of us might be wondering what's deep linking. So sometimes when you build an application, you need to send notifications to people. For example, you build an approval request, and you need to tell the line manager to approve. But then you're not, you're not doing the approval on Power Automate. You want to do the approval on Power Apps. Now, the best way to do this is probably send a link to the person that is approving. You don't want to send a link to just the app. Sometimes you want to send the link to a specific screen on the app. This is what we call deep linking. You have to probably set some parameters to make sure that when this person clicks on this link, take me to a specific screen. So your application can have multiple screens. And the way it is arranged, the first screen on your Power App Studio is actually the first screen your users would see. That's more like a default screen. But sometimes you want to not just take them to that default screen. You want them to go to another screen. We're going to do all this today. And that's literally what we call deep linking. I'm sure many of us might be curious and wants to see how it would work. So I'm just going to move on to the demo. So I'll stop sharing the slides so that we can move. So let me just stop sharing and share the web browser. So confirm that you can see Power Apps web page. Hello, I need somebody to confirm. Please, if you are dropping anything on the chat, let me.
Yes,
Somebody
we
should
can
just
see.
say it. Okay. All right. So the previous speakers have spoken about PowerApps and all that. So I'm just going to go straight to an application, create a new app, a Canvas app called Durban Test. Now, we're not going to be doing anything so serious on this application, but what we are going to be doing is creating two screens. I'm going to save and publish the app, share the link, and after the link has been shared, you will see the default screen that it will take you to. And we're also going to modify the link. So let's wait for that to open. So while we're waiting, remember that sometimes you want to send emails and you can do automated emails with Power Automate. So this is our new app that I've created. And let's call this screen the landing screen, more like the home screen. We're going to insert a button. We're not going to be doing something so serious. I'm going to insert a button. Notice that this button, just for us to identify that this screen is the home screen, I'll change the text property of the button to home screen. And I'll add another button. Oh, sorry, I'm going to add another screen so that we'll see the different screens and how you can allow your users to navigate. Oh, sorry. Allow your users to navigate to a specific screen. I'll delete this button. This is another screen. And let's call this one, let's just name it another screen. So best practice is to name your screen. I'm going to add another button to this screen. I'll call this one so that we will be able to identify it. This is another screen. I'll change the color of the button, that's the fill, to this, so that would identify the screen when we use Power Automate to send links. So I'm going to save, publish this application, and show us how to do the deep linking. So the next thing is to publish. I've done that. So after publishing, we're going to go to Power Automate. We're not going to explain deeply what we can use Power Automate to do, but right now we're going to use Power Automate to send an email. And because I want to trigger it manually, I'm going to select this Durban test. We'll wait for this to load. Apologies. Okay, manual trigger, select. So because I want to manually trigger this flow, that's why I selected that. So the next thing would be for me to add an action, send an email. Sorry. So while we're waiting for that to load, I also want to, so one of the things you need when doing deep linking is the link to the application itself. So I'm going to go and get, because I've saved this application, now I can go and get the link to the application. Let's type this again. I think the internet is misbehaving. So I'll go to all apps, that's applications. We'll see the application that we just built 1 minute ago. So I'll get the link, details. So I'll get the link to the application. I'll just copy it here. Copy link. Then now that's okay, let's try and add this again. And open internet doesn't mess things up. Okay, yes. So send an email. The internet. All right, so who do I want to send this email to? I'm going to use my email so that we'll see it together. And let's just wait for it to load. Okay. I'm just going to remove this and add it again. Because who do I want to send this email to? I want to send it to Victoria. So this is Victoria. The subject, let's call it Durban Global Power Platform Bootcamp Test. The body of the mail. Now, sometimes you want to say, click here. Let's just do this. This is the link to the application. Yeah. For this, I'm going to use the normal link everybody knows. That's the link to the application itself. And I'll just highlight here because I want it to be that when they click on this, let's just click here. When they click on here, it should navigate them to that. It should launch the application. So I'm going to highlight here, click on this link, select the target, paste the target. The target is the link to the application itself. So I'm going to copy it here and paste. I'll toggle open in a new window. Now, excuse me. If I also wanted to, I want to show the two scenarios at the same time because we don't have so much time. Now, the next part is to do deep linking. So I'm going to say this is the link to a specific screen. Now, to be able to achieve this, we'll have to go back to our application. And on the start of your application, that's where your application is going to start from. You'd say if the parameter that is coming from Power Automate is the specific name of the screen, take me to this screen. And it's as simple as that. So I would say if param open brackets, I'll just say screen name. Screen name is just what I decide to call my parameter. And close brackets equals what's the name of our screen? We're going to use this screen, another screen. So I'm just going to type another screen. The next thing would be the name of the screen, another screen. Close it. Now that's like the most important thing you need to do. So the link from Power Automate, we are going to modify it. And that link is going to tell us where exactly we want to go to. And that is very important because if you don't define where you want the link to navigate you to, you are going to have a problem. And adding this most times to link you can also add it to a screen that has a form. This would also take you to that specific screen. And when it does, you'll be able to sometimes pass in the specific form ID that you want. So sometimes I need to, navigate to a particular screen. And also on that screen, I need to show some particular item. If you need to do this, you have to also add to the link. So on your link, you can add the name of the screen. Sometimes you can add ID. This would help you tell the link, that's your deep link in the specific screen you want it to go to. So now that we have done this, I'm going to save. Okay, to save, I'm going to publish so that we'll see what effect this will have on the application. All right, we'll go back to our flow. Click here. Now we're not just going to add, we're going to add the link. Yes, let's copy it. we're going to add the link, but then we're not just going to add only the link. I'm going to do this. Now, to be able to modify the link, you have to go back to code view. So I'll just click on this code view here and add another parameter to the link so that when they click on it, you would see the specific screen that it will navigate you to. So to add another parameter to this application link, all I have to do is the alpha sign. The parameter would be the name of the screen I want it to go to. So remember that the name of the screen is another screen. So I'm just going to type another screen. Sorry, and screen name, you have to define the parameter. Remember that this on start, we said if screen name is equals to another screen, take me to another screen. Okay, screen name is equals to another screen. Yeah, another screen. I'll save this. I'm intentionally showing us how it is going to work. We're going to test, because it's a manual test, we're going to test this manually. And yes, so I'll be expecting a mail after the flow has been triggered. All right, so I remembered something. Before now, on your start, you could pass in some parameters like navigate to a specific screen. But after so many updates, Microsoft has decided that we should limit what you put on your start to what is necessarily needed. So I'm just going to remove this code from here. I intentionally added this so that we'll be able to explain. I'm going to remove this code from here. There's a function called start screen. And this is simply telling your screen where you want it to go to. What should be the start screen when somebody launches this application? The default start screen, if you don't add anything, is this first screen, landing screen. But if we can have like so many screens on our application, but when you add this parameter, that's this function, this line of expression on your start screen, you're simply saying if this screen name is equals to another screen, then go to another screen. Rather, it will take you to the default screen. So I'm going to, because I've made modifications, I'm going to save and publish. Do this. Then the flow ran successfully. So I'm going to open my mailbox, Outlook, so that we can all see in real time. And this is the email that just dropped. Durban GPP test. If you remember, this was the subject we added to the email. So the first link is the link to the application. So when I click here, it will launch the application for me and we'll see it. But when you are doing deep linking would be to a specific screen. Sometimes in your form, if you notice, let's go back to our application, the edit mode. You notice that this landing screen is the one with this button, and that's where that link took us to. Now I'm going to close this. Click on the second link. If you notice this second link, the one that has that parameter screen name is equal to another screen, took us to this screen, another screen. This is simply what you can do with deep linking. And this is like the list of the things you can do. You can add a form to a screen, make sure that the properties of the form, the items rather of the form, is a particular item. For example, somebody has submitted a request. You need another person to approve. But then you need to show the person the details of the form the person initially submitted. What you can do is deep linking. Just like we've added the link to the application, the specific screen, the next thing you need to do is add the ID of the form so that when you're clicking on it, is taking you to that screen that has the form, and the items property of the form would be the link. I'm going to just continue with our slide and probably ask if, let me just stop sharing this, probably ask if anyone has a question. But that's literally what we can do, or that's like the list of things we can do with deep linking. So yes, we are done with the demo. And like I said, do we have any question or questions? Oh, I see that someone's hand is raised. Please unmute your mic.
Yes, afternoon. I
Yeah,
wanted
I
to
can hear
ask.
you.
I wanted to ask with the deep linking thing, is it possible to use the deep linking feature to pre-populate form fields on the?
Yes, it is. It is. So I explained that sometimes when you want to send a form, you literally want to show the person what somebody else has filled. So all you need to do to that link that we created is, after adding the link to the application and the specific screen, you add another and the item ID. So sometimes you need to, in form cases, you need to get the ID from the trigger of the flow. Sometimes your flow is when an item is created. You can get the ID for that item that is created, pass it into the query parameter, that's pass it into the link, and your form's item property would be the item that has that ID, and you'll be able to pass in specific parameters. That was initially what we're supposed to do today, but because of the time constraints, I said, let me just show us deep linking to a specific screen. So I don't know if you have questions.
Thank you. That answers my question.
Oh, okay. Thank you too. Is there any other question?
Yes, Victoria, thanks for the
Okay.
amazing session. So there's a question here in person where, if you're doing deep linking, is it only specific to Microsoft products or Microsoft Power Platform products, or can you do deep linking to other technologies?
So when you say deep linking to other technologies, do you mean, because we just talked about deep linking to a PowerApps. So do you mean deep linking from maybe using core developer languages? So deep linking is everywhere. You do deep linking in anywhere, not just low code platforms.
Okay, so I think I can also try to expand a little bit on that. So
Okay.
ideally, I think the question is more centered around, if you are doing Fusion development, for an example, where you are using your low code tools with your pro code tools.
Oh.
So if you're trying to do deep linking, so let's say, for an example, you have a React app, and now you're trying to do deep linking to that React app, like for an example of how you actually did it with this Power Automate flow. So would that ideally work if we built a Power Automate flow similar to the one that you have, but now try to deep link it to a React application?
Okay, so the answer to that is yes. You can. On your Power Automate flow, what will be needed is, just like we added, the link to the web app, because your React app would be web, if I accept I'm wrong, and also other parameters. So you would have to define, just like we defined using this low code, to say our start screen is a specific screen. You have to also define that on your React application. So yes, it is possible.
Okay. Thank you for that, Victoria. I think everyone has actually learned a lot from you with deep linking, and it's quite interesting. Also, even with the question from one of the guys online, it's actually interesting on how you can also do deep linking to to fill specific form fills. So I haven't tried it out as well. So thank you for the session. I think I'm gonna start building something when I get to when I get home, and then see if I can't do some deep linking. And I think
Okay.
yes, I think Gloria, if you Victoria, sorry, if you have any other resources that could potentially showcase deep linking in terms of filling specific form fields, may you please share it
Okay.
with me on LinkedIn? Obviously, you and I are already connected, so you can share it with me, and then I can be able to share it with everyone else that has attended your session, so that they can see
Okay.
that specific aspect in action.
All right. So I have a blog that I wrote something about it. So I'm just going to share the link right away.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Right,
All
but
right. So thank you.
yeah, other than that, thank you so much, Victoria, for such an amazing session. And thank you so much for connecting. Looking forward to learning from you in the future and even collaborating with you. So the next Global Power Platform bootcamp in Durban again, just just know that I'm going to be reaching out to you to actually come as a speaker again.
All right. Thank you for having me.
Yes, thank you so much, Victoria. Please do share that link to that blog, and I think that's about it for your session.
All right.
Right. Thank you everyone for coming in today, and thank you so much for the speakers with sharing their knowledge on how to utilize the different kinds of the Power Platform products, and also how to add in some of their own element in building solutions using Power Platform. And I think I also saw ChatGPT 3 there, and also thank you so much to Khomolemo for doing a keynote to this bootcamp. It is highly appreciated. And to everyone else, just make sure that you're completing the Global Power Platform Bootcamp Challenge, in which I shared a link to the chat, and I'm going to be sharing it again so that you can be able to have access to the different kinds of resources that are available to you. So some of those resources are not really centered to the Power Platform, but centered around how you can kickstart your career using the Power Platform or using any kinds of soft skills that you have. So hopefully that is actually helpful for you guys. Other than that, thank you so much for joining the Global Power Platform Bootcamp in Durban. I will be reaching out to everyone who's an attendee to actually challenge them to build their own solution, and they can submit it back to me, and hopefully we can write blogs and actually do an interview with them on one of the Microsoft YouTube channels. So once again, thank you so much, and enjoy the rest of your day, and bye everyone.